What's going on, you guys? This is Tristan Montgomery on another episode of Commute Chronicles, baby. I just got in the car, about to head back to the house, and looking at the video yesterday, episode 1, I'm like, you know what? I want to make this pretty straightforward. I don't want it to be, 15, 20, 30 minutes. And with that being the case, I'm just going to touch on a topic real quick that's on my mind. One of the first things I thought about when I left work is the topic of professionalism. One thing about me and what you will get from this page, seeing is that I've been in the direct sales space, I've been in the financial sales space for pretty much the majority of my professional career. A lot of what you're going to get from this page is going to be around sales, entrepreneurship, professionalism, things such as that nature. I operate from a pay, per performance mentality. I operate off a commission, and there's a certain way that you have to operate in order for you to be successful in doing that, because a lot of what you have to do includes individuals buying into you. So you're going to get a lot of that from this page. But on this episode today, Commute Chronicles, I'm going to talk about professionalism. I'm going to talk about, really briefly, professionalism. What exactly does that mean? What exactly does that look like? If you're in any type of sales or any type of entrepreneurship endeavor or anything of that nature, you have to have a certain level of professionalism in how you operate, what you actually do on a daily basis. You have to be professional. You have to be able to articulate what you do. You have to be able to share with people all the details as far as the clients that you have, all the details about what exactly it is that they're going to be taking advantage of. What exactly are they getting? If you have a process that you have to go through in order for individuals to qualify for what you're offering them, whether it be a service, whether it be a product, whether it be a plan, whatever the case may be, you have to be upfront and honest with them about the process. You have to make sure to put yourself in a position that your client can openly, even if it's somebody that you just met, can openly have the communication with you as well as trust with you, because you're being upfront and honest about every part of the process. I'm not saying that you have to go through every single, fine print word. That's not what I'm saying at all. But the client customer should feel very confident and very comfortable in what you're actually conveying to them, what product you're bringing to them, what service that you're bringing to them, because throughout the process, you've been professional. You've been able to articulate your words correctly. You've been able to, keep eye contact with the individual. You've been able to, have a firm handshake when it comes to doing business, and nothing that you've said has contradicted any type of materials that you may have in your sales process, for lack of better words. You got to be professional. You have to be able to speak clearly. People have to understand what you're talking about. I'm not saying that you have to be completely polished like Harvard Law or whatever the case may be, but eventually, if you call yourself a professional in what you do, you have to be able to articulate it in a way that anybody can understand. Does that make sense? Anybody can understand it. Not just the people in your industry. You should be able to articulate that to anybody who is looking to become a potential partner or a customer or a client, and they should be able to do that just by a conversation from you. You have to be able to cover yourself too. You have to bring up the what ifs. If your your sales process has a different stages in it, you have to bring up the what ifs. If there's an approval process, you have to bring up the what ifs. You have to talk to individuals and be upfront about what they're going to go through, so that if something does come up, if one of the what ifs come up, you don't have to go back and explain it and have to apologize and have to go into, oh, I didn't think that was going to happen. Cover all that at the beginning, and you really will be at a position in which you don't have to think. And that's part of being professional. That's part of being upfront and honest. That's part of making sure that the client has all the information up front for them to make an educated decision on whether or not they want to do business with you. I'm all about information. Multiple times, especially outside of my profession, people taking a look at what we do on my side business. A lot of times they want to know, what's going on? Can you give me the gist of it? I love that. I love when people say that. Can you give me the gist of it? It's kind of hard to give the gist of a opportunity that has no income limitations. It's kind of hard to give people the gist of something that's involving multiple industries and people want a gist of it in 2 minutes. That's the same way that you can't give somebody a gist of a financial plan. Somebody asked me, man, can you put together, or can we start the financial, what is that going to look like? I can't give people a gist of it. And you have to be honest with individuals that if you have a process to which your information is given, like most salespeople do, most salespeople have some type of informational process. Some process is involved. Follow that process and be upfront to people about what to expect, how long it's going to take, if there's a cost to it, what to expect if they do choose to buy or take advantage of your service, product, etc. That's part of being professional. And more times than not, a lot of the society nowadays has this microwave mentality to which they want things right now. I don't want to fully explain it. I want this, I want the customer right now, or I want the sale right now. What happened to just being people and talking to people? Finding out if what you have is even something that they want. It's so much more impactful to get to know your clients, the people that you're conveying information to see how what you have can fit into their situation. The most successful salespeople on the planet are people who literally are experts at getting to know people, but also how they can fix issues in people's lives. So professionalism, guys, being upfront and honest, speaking with clarity, being a person that can look somebody in the eye, being a person who can hold their own in shaking hands and networking with people. And I'm not saying that you have to be the ultra social butterfly. People know that I'm not. Naturally, I know I do videos and I know I work with a lot of people, but by nature, I'm an introvert. I am not an extrovert. I am a situational extrovert. Naturally, I'm inverted. Like I can be by myself or with my wife or whatever and be completely fine. But my profession and what I do for a living puts me in a position to which I do have to be extroverted at certain times. Does that make sense? So with that being the case, I hope you guys got some value out of this. Professionalism is really one of those arts that, unfortunately, for a lot of our industry, when it comes to sales, entrepreneurship, people have lost a little bit of it. But I feel like there's enough individuals sharing this type of message that we can turn that thing around. We could bring the professionalism back to all sales, not just some sales. All sales need to be at a certain level of professionalism, and that means at the core of it, knowing who you're talking to and making sure that you're ready for that audience. So with that, I hope you guys got some value out of the Commute Chronicles today. I'm definitely going to be back on this coming up Monday, sharing with you guys actually one of the other things I was thinking about today. I'm just going to save that for Monday, so feel free to stay tuned. But I'd love to hear from you too. Again, one thing about this page is that I'm not the end-all, be-all, and know-it-all or anything like that. I want to hear from you too. What do you think is professionalism? What do you think that I missed that is key in professionalism? Like, share, comment. I'd love to hear from you. Again, I read all comments. I make sure I always engage with individuals who are commenting on what's going on. And as always, aside of the value brought with the topic of the day, if you are somebody who is looking for a side income project, something that you can do part-time that can bring in some pretty significant part-time extra money in a passive way, the same way that you would get from a music or book royalty or from an investment that's giving you a certain return. If you want to find out how you can be in a position like many of us to have monthly or even weekly mailbox money coming in from the comfort of your own home using a cell phone, feel free to get in contact with me. Comment below more information, and I'll make sure for us to have that conversation. And as always, man, I definitely appreciate everybody plugging in today. You guys have a great weekend. Have a great day, great weekend, great week, great month, but most importantly, have a great year. This is Tristan Montgomery signing out of this episode of Commute Chronicles, and I will see y'all on the next one.